Good morning, good evening, good afternoon and good night wherever you may be on this wild, wacky and sometimes dangerous planet of ours. And greetings one, greetings all. Stamp collecting is fun and it is time to have a look at some more stamps. But before we do that, what on earth is going here? This is a bit of an eye chart. So I've got 1955. So the collection of French stamps that I had, we had a look at the very old ones, and now we're looking at the sort of middle-aged ones, 51 to, gone up as far as 1980, from my Republic of France envelope. And by the way, having taken all the old ones and the middle-aged ones out, I've still got a heap of stamps left. So you can soon collect a nice little bit of a collection from very few stamps. Interesting, isn't it? Okay, so what's going on in the world of George here? Well, Doris is saying, what are these, George? So she's wondering about the numbers, I think. And George is saying, French years of 1951 to 1980. The son has got his hat on. Stamp collecting is fun. We have a nice cup of tea. Adolf is just, I think they're on the table, stood on the table, and Adolf is there, just about seeing there. Adolf the mouse is always on duty. And enough of this shenanigans, we'll have a look at the stamps. Now, before we have a look at the 1951 stamps, I also kept these out. Well, these became part, a big pile of these rectangular stamps. And these were 4 of them that were within that sort of shape. And it turned out that these were, and by the way, do not take it as gospel. So it's only my own research, very basic, thanks to Google Lens. 1927, 1937. Sorry, that's 1927, September 1927. So the American Legion, France is very associated with the USA because of revolution and the Republic. So this must be 37. So I've got them the wrong sort of way around. And this celebrates the Exposition Internationale. Anyway, we'll get on to the main topic, which is to have a look at France 1951 to 1980 from these arts and crafts stamps. That's all they are. You get 1,000 of them and I split them all up and put them into different envelopes for different countries, etc., etc. So we start with 1951. I put a bit of card out there. Not all years, as you can see, are included. So there are stamps that may slip over to 1952 or maybe 1950. But this is as close as I can get it without really spending too much time. So 1951, we have 2 stamps here. 25 franc, is it? Abbaye Saint-Wandrille. I've got a number of these. This is quite a common stamp. And also this is a 30 franc, so 25 and 30. So the slightly worrying thing is you'd expect them to be in the set. They're not. So a bit disappointed about that. 1954, so we skipped 52, 53, 54. Republic Française, Quimper stamp. Noticed the name. I thought it was a cute name. Not sure. Is Quimper a place? Could be. And here we have Ajaccio. Sounds very southern France, doesn't it? Again, 20 francs, 12 francs, 20 francs, 30 francs. Yeah. And here we have a 50 franc lady holding butterfly or jewels or something. And it's, I mean, they're very beautiful, pretty stamps. All used, all been posted. Then under here, the 100, it talks about the aeroplane. Is it the Mystery? I think they may call it. So that's nice also for 1954. 1955, we've got more in the way of buildings and dark. There seems to be nighttime or darkness around a lot of these stamps. But it makes the building stand out. La Tour de César, so Caesar's Tower in Provence, or Provence. La Porte Valentre, not sure where that is, but it's a lovely bridge, isn't it? The Pont. La Pont Valentre, maybe. I can't quite read it, and I don't want to take them out. Yeah, so that's 55. 56, we've got another a bird and tower. Not sure what that's about. I haven't really investigated that one. 57. Saint René les Antiques. Saint René les Antiques. Some wonderful history over in France. Buildings and ponts and pontoons and bridges. Le Quesnoy. That's in northern France. Around the battle sites of the First World War, possibly a bit further back. Rheims, maybe. Certainly a cathedral. Nice pink stamp. 55. Then we go to 1959. So here we've got Evian-les-Bains, Evian water, presumably. The baths of Bains. 1960. Another plane. The plane. 61. A nice Sully-sur-Loire. So this is a building which is on the River Loire. Fantastic. Nice colours. Down to 1963. The coast. Côte d'Azur. And Famine. So it's trying to... it's a campaign against world famine. Campagne mondiale contre la faim. Which is always good. So presumably a lot of money from those stamps went to support famine initiatives across the world. Saint-Flory, Saint-Flour. Some lovely places I've never heard of. That looks like a Jodrell Bank sort of thing. Not sure if it is or not, or is it just a stone? Look to be the same set, don't they? So I'm looking at a 60, a 70 and a 40 and a 50. So I think that's pretty accurate, maybe with 63, 64. Probably 1 year. 65. Modernisation of the buildings. Maison des Jeux de la... I don't know what that is. 1965 anyway. Nice aeroplane. French, of course, are very well known for creating aeroplanes. Alien, so a stamp, airmail stamp, and it's actually cancelled in the aeropuerto, airport. That is fantastic. And 65 continues here. I don't know what that is, so there's some slogan on top of that. And boating, France being a seafaring nation, Les Sables. It's quite nice. 1969, what have we got here? Looks a bit technology-ish to me. A dam, maybe? Electricity? Possibly. 1969, 1971. Cathedrals, always featuring very heavy. This is a chapelle Riche. Sainte-Chapelle de Riche, not sure. My French is bob on, by the way. Dole. So here we have this one here. Another building and a statuette. A child pouring wine, maybe, or water. 1973, wine, I should think, vin. Chateau de Gier. 1973 has got the year on the stamp. That is always helpful, isn't it, when it's got the year on? More buildings, 75. That actually is on its side. It needs to stand up. That's better. A little more. There we are. That is Saint Paul de Lyon. Saint Paul de Lyon. And underneath 1977, so we've got Milieu Ouvrier de France. There's stuff going on there. I don't know what it is. Don't know. But I think it's a similar series, again, 140, 150 maybe, because I'm looking at the similar colours. They bleed into each other, don't they? I think they may be. Abbaye de Fontenay. So that's quite nice. And then we go to that finally moment, 1980, where we got Benoit, France Europa. So Europe has become, France has become less, becoming more tied to the European perspective. So that is what has occurred from taking these, from emptying these and taking out the 1950s to 80s. I returned anything beyond 80 and before. Well, actually, before, I thought, you know what, I'm not going to just pull them back in. I'm going to give them their own sort of page, and maybe as things come along, I could be able to add to this. Also, maybe do a little bit of research to see how many would be in the set. In the 20s, there may not have been that many in the set. It may only have been 2 in the set. And 1937 as well, on the cusp of war. So we've got long stamps, so elongated stamps really, as opposed to the classic thin ones, which are in here, which we looked at yesterday, series, Liberté, Mercury, Harvester, Colonials. So these are more your classic square stamps. Peace. So I think, from the two, from the envelope, there's immediately two separate opportunities to gather an independent and nicely standing collection. And the way I did it was I just wrote out because I had a load, and then I thought, where am I going to put them? So rather than mount or put them in stockbook as they came along, I laid them on their particular year and did it from there. It helped a lot, that really. And of course, this helps. So does Adolf, so does George, so does Doris, and of course the pen. I'll talk to you very soon, everybody. Have a fantastic day. And I bought these little things that I cut up to write the information I want on them, particularly the year, but really it's only the year, mostly the year. That's me done for today. Have a great day, everyone. Talk soon. Bye for now.